I currently have an issue with the water in the pond being quite yellow, and I don't think any amount of filtration is going to get rid of it. So I am going to be running an experiment using potassium permanganate, and the reason why is this. I'm going to show you how yellow the water can be. It's extremely difficult to see, but you can kind of have an idea based on the look of the fish and the water right here that it is a little bit yellow, but it's much clearer when you put in a bucket and then put the water in there, like a white bucket. There you go. So see, that is how yellow the water is. And for me, it really impacts the visibility of the fish and the coloration. So I really want to change this. And potassium permanganate is a very strong oxidizer, so it's not something to just use randomly. Do your own research, and I've done research on my side, and based on my pond size between 3,700 or 3,800, I'm trying to achieve about 2 ppm, which only equates to about an ounce of this stuff. So just imagine 1 ounce for this entire pond, and as you can imagine, any mismeasurement can greatly impact your pond and possibly kill your fish, or I should say very highly likely to kill your fish. So I'm gonna measure my scale here. I got a little scale. I think using a scale for this purpose is really helpful. Now I'm gonna put a little cup on, and then I'm gonna set that to 0. There we go. I'm actually wearing gloves and a mask. Also got eyeglasses on. That way, just to be safe. Let me change it to ounce. There we go. So that right there is 1 ounce. And I'm gonna add a little bit of water on, and then we're gonna mix it. And it's already getting quite purple. Okay, that solution went in. The pond is looking reddish, purplish. It's pretty highly circulating this pond, so I'm not really using another air pump or anything like that, because it only took like a minute for it to be completely diluted inside the pond right now. So we'll see how long this takes. Even at 2 ppm, the fish have started to act a little odd as well. I think they're reacting to something, or something's happening in the water that is obviously irritating the fish. So let me see if we can catch some fish behaving differently. I saw one jump a little bit earlier, and the rest are still down there. Sometimes they'll come over to where the outlet is to catch, I guess, fresh water. But so far the reactions have been minimal. It's different, but it's not drastically different. I think it's because my dosage was pretty low, so nothing really major is happening, but we're gonna keep an eye on this thing just to see. I got hydrogen peroxide standby in case I need to neutralize things. It's kind of interesting looking at all the fish. They all look like they're bendy boys. It didn't really take long for the water to turn kind of brownish. It's gotten a little darker. I don't see any hint of that purple or magenta color. I think the PP has already been spent. Now I know that the color has changed, but I think the oxidation is still happening for the next 6, 7, 8, 10 hours. So I'm gonna let it be. The fish aren't acting too crazy. I've noticed that they kind of follow one another, clump up and school together. I think they're probably just a little nervous and scared of the changes in the color of the water. I only had one fish try to jump, and it was unsuccessful in getting out of the pond, so he's stuck back in here again. Aside from that, everyone is just trying to get into a corner, but they are moving okay. The movement is it's not too crazy. It seems less erratic than when I was treating them for praziquantel. Treating them with praziquantel. So I think for the next 6, 8 hours, maybe even 10 hours, or overnight by morning, it should clear up. That is the expectation. Hopefully when I wake up tomorrow morning, I don't see any dead fish floating around. And what would be quite interesting is seeing how this changes the water chemistry. Now I'm going to test the level of ammonia, nitrite, and nitrate, and see how the oxidation has impacted that. I haven't been feeding this morning yet, so I'm going to start feeding again to kind of keep it consistent. Went ahead and threw some fish food in, and they are eating. So as worried as they were, or as scared and nervous as they were, the moment they sense food, they're up and grabbing it. But yeah, the water's definitely gotten a lot browner. Yesterday's 2 ppm treatment of potassium permanganate, which equates to about 1 ounce or maybe 28 grams of PP for my entire pond. It went through the cycle of changing color from purple, pink to brown, all within about 20 to 30 minutes. It was quite quick. So what that really means is that there's probably more organic stuff in my pond than I realized. So instead of waiting for the brown water to clear up naturally, I kind of ran out of time, and so I added 3 quarts of hydrogen peroxide, and it did clean up the water. It cleared it of the brownish color. However, the yellow tanning, I'm going to demonstrate right here. The yellow tanning color in the water is still present. So if we use the white bucket like so, bring it down. See that tanning color right there? The yellow color? It's still present, but it is slightly less than before. So with multiple treatments, I believe that I can get rid of this color within like 3 or 4 more treatments. Okay, and then obviously the most important thing for me when I'm treating pond water is checking out the parameters. So I'm gonna put it on the net. The reason why is because for the next week and a half I won't be here to monitor the fish, so I'm gonna cover up the net for safety, and then we're gonna go ahead and take a look at the water parameters. So here are the water parameters for the pond right now. This is after the PP treatment last yesterday. And ammonia is still at a very low level. Nitrite is between 0 and 0.25. Nitrate is registering between 0 and 5 ppm, and the pH is likely to be somewhere between 7.5 and 8. It is not that accurate to determine pH based on this color, but it is in a high range because I've been using baking soda to increase alkalinity and KH content in my pond. So the result so far has not shown that there's any impact on the biological filtration at 2 ppm treatment for potassium permanganate. It looks promising, so I'm going to continue doing it and keep track of it to see how this works out.